Hello, hello, everyone. We are live, and this is my gorgeous friend Lucia. It's been a long time
It has.
since I have seen her, so I love having these experts chats as an excuse to bring friends in.
Yeah, it's great.
Lovely.
That-
So, today we're talking on a really beautiful topic and success in life is closely connected and directly in proportionate with the quality of our relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
which is why our topic today around building relationships, I am quite certain will hold some really good tips for our group members, for all of the listeners joining us today. So, welcome to all of the parents in the group who will be joining us today. Welcome to gorgeous Lucia. Lucia is an amazing parent too. She will be
Yes,
sharing with us her story around parenting
yes.
and what has brought her onto her journey to be an amazing relationship builder. So I am going to let you take it away, Lucia. Share away with us.
Thank you, Yolanda. It's so beautiful to be back in your space. In your energy is just always empowering for me. It really is, and I love your energy and being around like-minded people. And I think that's important when whatever we are in, whatever we do, and whatever connection we have, it's important to remember the other person and what the other person is actually going through. We don't always know. And, we can be quite, as individuals, as humans, we can be quite narrow-minded if we allow ourselves to be. But practicing how to have empathy for other people is super important. And a little about me. I have a 43-year-old disabled daughter. She has gone through many, many challenges with me. We have grown together in our life's journey. And yes, I was a child bride.
Without giving too much away.
Without giving too much. But yeah, having my beautiful daughter was my learning process. I always say this to everyone. It was such a gift. I had to stand up for her and myself. The powers that be had their definite ideas, and it was pretty well male orientated back then when she was born 43 years ago. The professors that we had to go and see with the disability were all, well, you've got to do it this way, and you've got to have an operation on this one, and you've got to, they were, and being intimidated was not in my style because I don't know if anyone knows, but a Sagittarian doesn't really back down. They're kind of like, those horses in the paddocks. Yeah, so quite strong-willed. And my daughter is a Sagittarian as well, so she's quite strong-willed. But I have taught her over the years to question and be curious. And when it comes to me being her parent, I've always given it back to her. Given her the responsibility of, you can have this choice or you can have this choice. The outcome is going to be blah, so, and, like I can think about the dentist. A couple of months ago, we had to go to the dentist, and the conversation was, no, I don't want to go to the dentist. But then I said to her, if you don't go to the dentist, you might have to go to the doctors, and then we might have to have, worse operation. I'll go to see Louis tomorrow, Mum. Yeah. So,
putting the choices in her hands, and she was capable of making choices.
Very much so. Giving her the power, like giving the power back to her. And as a person with a disability, that's important to me because I may not be here, and I want her to have the capacity to question when someone wants, you know, an outcome from her that she doesn't want. But I also am now going through a challenge where she has to understand that I've got a good relationship with her, but other people need to have that relationship with her. So understanding that others are coming into her social arena and how to communicate, you know, instead of voicing her opinion very loudly, in a nice way, communicating that, you know, I want to do it this way, I really don't want to do it that way. So yeah, that's been a super challenge, but it's also been such a learning, you know, such a gift.
So understanding the importance of building relationships, what are some tips, or what are some learnings or your own realizations that you would like to impart
I think
in our share today?
Yeah, I think clarity on an outcome, you know, clarity of as a parent, you know, we have so many individuals coming at us at a time when we only want the best for our child. So what is it that we want for our child realistically? What is the outcome we desire for our child? You know, is it to be socially well adjusted, which was mine? My outcome was that for Natalie. And building that, communicating that with the powers that be. So standing in your authenticity. She's actually having a meltdown at the moment.
We can't hear her.
That's good, thank God.
She's voicing her opinion. Yeah.
Very much so. Something's not working, obviously. But having that communication, like I work with Endeavour, and we have like Zoom calls, we have chats with her support workers, we're administrator, and we have those get-togethers where we're all coming from the same story or the same message, and the same message that Nat wants, but also the same message that the outcome is the same. So we're coming from the same wavelength kind of thing, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. It was a bit confused. She's distracting me. But it's important to have that open communication with the powers that be, you know, like teachers or support workers, whoever that is. Yeah.
Lovely. So what would you summarize that under? So in terms of building relationships, that would fall under?
It's funny. I think it's collaboration. And I've built my business.
Collaborating towards a common goal.
Yeah. I've built the business around that too, because working with like-minded people like yourself, Yolanda, we're collaborating. We're, you know, I'm sharing my message with your people. You share your message with my people. There's no competition. It's all about, you know, learning something new and understanding that people do things in different ways, and understand where they're coming from. So having that empathy and understanding that it's not a competition, that it's about, you know, the individual and how they want to feel. I think it's the emotion. I think the emotion is really important.
Working towards a common goal, feeling or being in tune empathetically.
Feeling valued. Yeah, feeling valued. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can tell someone to do something, or you can communicate it in a way that they feel it's their idea. So you can get people's opinion, but you don't necessarily have to control the outcome. Does that make sense? Because
I'm just becoming aware of the fact that your learnings, and like you mentioned, your daughter being your biggest gift.
Yeah.
And I'd really love for you to really to focus on the person you are today, because of the skills that you have learned in it is who you are. From what I know of you,
Yeah.
You are that empathetic person.
Yeah.
You are that person who is collaborative, because you couldn't have done that alone,
No.
which is what you built your business around and built
Yeah.
success around. So I'd love for you to share it from your perspective around raising your daughter, because a lot of parents that I come across raising kids who are challenged can fall into a trap of feeling alone,
Yeah.
feeling not valued,
Mm.
society not pushing them aside, society not accepting
Yeah.
them or their kids, and a lot of that makes them sit into the whole victim mindset, and
Yeah.
then they're trapped.
Yeah, they are.
So I'd love
It's
for you to share.
interesting. Yeah.
You are on that journey they call from victim to victory. You are certainly raising your flag of victory on this
Yeah,
journey. I'd love
definitely.
for you to share that perspective.
Oh, that makes
And
me so humble.
also,
Um,
absolutely, and
it
so
is
you should. And how you have built that into your business. We'd love to hear
mm,
about that too.
so interesting. Sorry, I rushed some lunch. When I first began, like on this journey, I was 21 when I had my daughter. So you can imagine as a 21-year-old being told that
My mind's calculating your age now,
yeah,
Lucy. I'm like, no way.
you're right.
No way.
Are you good at maths? I hope not.
I am. For this I was very quick. No, keep
Anyway,
going. Sorry to distract you.
that's okay. 21 I was when I had her. And I had a son, and he was 2 when I had her. And we knew something wasn't going right, because the fetus didn't grow. And basically after about 6 months I stayed the same size. And anyway, people were saying things like, oh, look, if there's something wrong, you'll accept it, you'll get on with it, blah blah blah, all the right stuff. But immediately, it's funny you say what you say, because immediately when I said the things about, the fetus not growing anymore, there was this wall, that kind of imaginary wall that went up. People
Wow.
didn't want to talk about it. It was not up for discussion. And it was super interesting. I was almost put into another pocket, like into another category. And
Yeah.
I had to work on myself.
Yeah.
I really had to work on myself.
That's a great choice that you made, though, Lucia, to work on yourself instead of feeling abandoned and not accepted.
Had to. If I hadn't done the work on myself and my mindset, I don't think I would be here today, because the guilt, for a start, what have I done? Because, as a mother guilt is super strong. So what have I done? My child is broken. What if she was normal? What would her life be like? I'm thinking of a 43-year-old woman, and what she would be doing. She'd have a family, she'd blah, blah, blah. I could have you all in tears just thinking about, that. So how did I do that? I had to work on my personal mindset, staying positive, even though underneath I was completely in disarray, like I really was. The thing that really got me through was support networks and reaching out to people, reaching out to other mothers, and asking questions around, disability, finding out, if there was something. I actually created a disability group in my old town where I grew up.
Brilliant.
And we would get together. Yeah, so we would get together and discuss, these types of things. But my mindset was the thing that my relationship with my husband took a toll. My relationship with my son took a toll, because she was sick all the time when she was young. So, there was lots of things that in the building and getting to, this now, There
Yeah.
was lots of work that I had to do, rebuild my
Lots of challenges.
my
Yeah.
relationship with my son, rebuild the
Mm.
relationship with my husband, set some boundaries with my husband, with my children, set some boundaries with teachers who wanted to, integrate Natalie into normality.
Mm.
My family was one of my biggest awakenings. My sister-in-law, I went out and said, we were going to do some music with Natalie, and we were going to integrate her into the school where my nephew went. And I was really happy about it. My sister-in-law went to the principal and said, I can't let you do that. And I found out years later that it was her that did it. And I was absolutely gutted for
Mm.
that person to do that to me. And it was so
Mm.
close, like sister-in-law. I was
Mm.
gutted. So I had to work through that process of
Mm.
forgiveness, because she just doesn't know
Yeah.
that what she's done.
Yeah.
Could have
Yeah.
helped her son understand that, there are different types of people in this world.
Yeah.
So, I've had it from all aspects, teachers, I've had it from nurses, nursing staff. I had a nurse that said, what is that doing in here?
Mm.
In a
Oh,
child's ward,
wow.
in a children's
Oh,
ward.
my
So
goodness me.
and
Yeah.
can I
So
tell you,
this has all made you stronger. Tell us about your victory story,
my victory
Lucia.
story, I guess it's just that my business now is about relationships.
Mm.
And I teach relationships. So I teach how to get yourself seen on social media, but it's all about building that relationship. And I'm going to tell you my shoe story, because I love my shoe story. I worked
Yeah.
in shoes for about 20 years. While my daughter was growing up, I stayed at work. I went to see a psychologist, and the psychologist said to me, if you don't work, she will take all your energy and you'll have nothing left for yourself. And
Oh,
so
wonderful.
from a very young age, I think she was about 3, I started working full time, and I did
Yeah.
that, and I still do it. And she's used to it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the shoe story is that after school, every day, these young girls, high school girls, would come into the shoe shop, and they'll try on all these shoes, and they just prance around and look lovely, and they're in the mirror and they're looking at themselves, and they say, can I try that one on? Can I try that one on? I go, yeah, sure. Anyway, the girls are in the back as I'm going out to the back, and they're going, why are you letting those girls try on all those shoes? And I said, you know what? Those girls are going to become young women. And when they're young women, they're going to come back to me, because they will remember who I am, and they will be my best customers. And
Oh, and
sure enough, about 3 of them,
it's
I
the
think.
experience, isn't it? And how we make them feel.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mm.
now that relationship, I teach relationships, marketing, and sales. Sales doesn't come first, sales comes last, because it's all about the service, the relationship, how to get that message across and understand where your people are coming from. I can't see Facebook at the moment, but what your ideal client is wanting and desiring from you. It might be just sanity with their child,
Mm.
skills to deal with withdrawing your attention. I learned that skill many years ago. Withdraw your
Mm.
attention from the bad behavior and give them an outcome. If they continue, this is what's going to happen. So
Mm. And
and
what we teach here at Empowered Parenting is for the parent to manage their emotions, what's coming up for them
yeah,
as they are feeling challenged by their child,
yeah,
because that's the point that often gets overlooked. We're
yeah,
telling parents what to do with their child and what boundaries to set, what they need to say, but
yeah,
what they have not covered is that slice in between, is how can they best manage their emotion, how can they work through their own stuff that's
yeah,
coming up, and often their own childhood stuff, their own stories, their own hurts and wounds that is responding to that child
exactly.
in that time when they are challenged, that's where the golden work is, and that's where all the magic happens.
Yeah. That is so true. I had an amazing childhood. I had one of frivolity. I lived in the bush. I had a father that, he would come home every day. He was a builder and always in the garden. He was an Italian. And then my husband had, what I've learnt now is one of the worst childhoods anyone could experience. Like he's got PTSD from child abuse, and much of what you said then just resonates, because his emotions get caught up in the parenting of Nat a lot of times.
So he's not the adult parenting, he's the wounded child that's parenting.
He's the wounded,
challenging child.
Oh yeah,
there's so many out there, which is why we do the work that we do.
Yeah, so important, Yolanda, so important. Because it affects our relationship too, like it affects the partner's relationship. So it's beautiful work.
We run a group, Lucia. We would love to have your husband on board.
Identifying the problem first is the key. That's part of the journey. He hasn't accepted, so doesn't see it as needing to be healed, which is really, really sad, but that's where he's at. So I just have to let him live his journey and I live my journey.
That's right. And you're shining in your journey. Well done.
Oh, thank you, gorgeous.
Lovely. All right, so let's summarize some points, some takeaways for our people today. So you covered empathy being key in building relationships. Not everyone is where you think they are, and often we see from our own eyes. And we can miss that link of seeing the other person in their wholeness and recognizing that there must be so much that we can't see. Which is why the behavior or that relationship is for what it is. Like you mentioned just before with your husband, there's so much more which you understand, and I have no doubt that you hold empathy for him, given the knowledge that you have.
Except when I'm cranky.
And you have all the right to be cranky when you need to be. We need to end. We can't just keep holding space for everyone.
No, that's right.
We cannot hold space for anyone else if we haven't learned how to hold space for ourselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is why challenging relationships and challenging people in our lives give us the biggest gift. Like you said with your daughter, she was an amazing gift for you on your journey to have the experiences that you have today. So that's beautiful. And the other one you shared with us is collaborating with like-minded people and recognizing that you are supported, and at times we need to seek that support from like-minded people. Would you like to add anything to that before we close up today?
No, I think that collaboration and connection, that building and opening your mind to what is possible. We get worst case scenarios for diagnosis, and I think what is possible is amazing. For when you look at ADHD, it's such a profound diagnosis now. There's so many that have it. So what am I trying to say? Accept the diagnosis and then look at the possibilities, not the don't try and fix it. I think that's the word. Don't try and fix it.
You made a very big point and very crucial point there when you use the word accept. That is that's the edge where we want to bring our parents to come to that point, to acceptance, because after that the only way is up. But to bring them to acceptance, and that's very key. Accept the diagnosis, and that's when the possibilities start to become evident.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
So much
happens.
So much happens then when you accept. It's a journey to get there. There is there is a
and take all the support that you can, hire all the support that you possibly can, but get to that point, because from that's when the
And
possibilities are born.
yeah, you have you empower people to do that quicker. See, that took me almost 30 years to learn that, whereas now they teach that, and what a great lesson that you can learn really, really early and implement to have
which
those.
Is why accepting support is another journey, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So acceptance is key, guys. Acceptance is the key word.
Absolutely.
Bring yourself to acceptance to have access to those endless possibilities.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. It was such a pleasure to speak.
So good to talk
with you again.
Yeah.
And I look forward to staying connected with you. Thank you, Lucia. If you've got, I know you have an amazing group. If you can get your assistant to put down the links to our,
yes, I will.
To our group. If you've got an event coming up, please feel free to share it in the comment section as well.
Yep.
For those parents watching, tell us where you're joining us from. Where are you? If you have a question, Lucia, or if you have a question for myself based on anything that we shared today, we would love for you. If you watch this interview, please do share what you learned today, and let's spread the love and let's spread the knowledge, because we're always doing our best. Every parent is always doing their best, however is limited to the knowledge that we have, and our job here on Empowered Parenting is to increase that level of knowledge. So you are absolutely doing your best given the vastness of the knowledge that you have, especially around your emotions.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well done. And for those listening, we have a series that is running at the moment, a 4-part series for single parents. We started off with emotions around parents, understanding their own emotions. Then today was day 2, where we covered finances and the stress around finances and about it being the number one stress that single parents face. And tomorrow is an exciting topic where we're teaching and we're sharing with you how to emotionally support your child through separation, through the divorce, through making sense of what has happened in their life, and bringing them along with yourself to a space of acceptance, which was the key of what Lucia shared with us today. Because once we come to that, no matter how hard, despite all the odds, we are able to tap into new possibilities and create new opportunities, which is what I did on my single parenting journey. From breakdown, literally breakdown in all areas, through breakthroughs in all areas.
Amazing journey.
Then with finances, Lucia was in a business program with me, which helped immensely to bring me to where I am today. A new beautiful relationship that I would never have imagined.
No.
And my kids, so stable, mature individual beings. My oldest has left home last week.
Has she? Oh
my little independent girl, I'm so proud of her. She spread her wings and she is loving.
That is so good, Yolanda.
And thank God I do this work on emotions, otherwise I'd be all over the place. Acceptance and allowing her to shine.
She was still at school. She was still at school when I first remember that.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Time just flies. Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much, honey. Absolutely love that you joined us.
Thank you, gorgeous.
Remaining day, and we look forward to joining your group as well.
Thank you. Yeah. I look forward to interviewing you in my group.
That's right. Do share with our audience your beautiful group.
I will. Thank you.
See you, honey. Bye.
Bye.